Hi, everyone. Hey, my name is Joseph Skoda, and a lot of you know that I'm a retired Air Force veteran, and for a long time, I did not realize there was life after the military. I had a hard time finding work, had a hard time redefining myself. But today I'm in Chicago, Illinois, which is pretty exciting, the Windy City, and they mean it's the Windy City. That's very true. I'm here with my friend, Ramona Baylor, and it just so happens we both grew up in Ohio for a while, and although I joined the Air Force, you joined the Army. Tell me a little bit about your Army experience.
Sure. Well, I joined the Army at 17.
Yeah.
I didn't have any background in the military, nor any family members in the military. And I said, well, I'm going to do something different.
Okay.
And I took a stab at it. And I actually loved the Army. I was in for about 4 years, and I knew early on
That was it.
that was it. But I had great mentors and leaders, and I knew that I wanted to be a leader in the Army. I could make a change. I was a young woman in the Army. I was also a paratrooper in the Army. There's not very many of us.
Wow.
And I was assigned to the 82nd Airborne Division, where they gave me the opportunity to be a young leader as a young woman, which was a challenge.
Sure.
There were some bumps in the road, some forces against me, but I pushed through that.
Sure.
And I traveled the world. I've been to combat twice.
Oh,
I've
wow.
been to Germany, Turkey, Spain,
Mhm.
Fort Jackson, Fort Bragg, the home of the airborne.
The home of the airborne.
Yes.
How does it go? Hoorah!
Hooah.
Hooah! 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 Hurrah! Hurrah!
And then I decided after 21 and a half years, I was
Yes.
going to hang up my hat. I loved the Army so much, but I said, it's time to focus on my family. My daughter was getting ready to graduate
Sure.
from high school, and I said, I want to be there for
Mhm.
that event and start making memorable events versus mom's here, mom's gone. Mom's here, mom's gone. I had a fabulous support system,
Yeah.
but I did retire in 2011 after 21 and a half years, and now here I am with you in Toastmasters.
In Toastmasters, we're at a Toastmasters event, and not just like we're getting ready for the international convention in a couple days, but we're here at a leadership training conference. Did you see yourself ever joining Toastmasters when you were in the military?
I didn't. I actually never had the opportunity,
Yeah.
and I think it was just because maybe I wasn't listening for Toastmasters,
Sure,
or maybe
sure.
in the military, when you move up the ranks and you're a leader and you're like, I think I know it all. And I don't have a problem with self-confidence.
Sure.
I also don't have a problem with public speaking. What I had a problem with was I talk too much. So I really wish I would have had Toastmasters
Sure.
in the Army, but unfortunately I wasn't introduced to it until I joined the federal government in 2012. Shortly thereafter, someone brought it up in an all-staff meeting, and I was like, wow, that sounds interesting.
So
I'll join that.
You joined in 2012?
I actually joined in 2013.
I joined in 2013.
Well, look at that.
Absolutely. I've never even heard of Toastmasters in the military. And now, and I just found out recently, you started a Toastmasters club at
Fort Bragg.
At Fort Bragg,
Yes.
and I started one at Vandenberg Air Force Base
Yes.
this year.
Mhm.
And those were different challenges in their own right, because does Toastmasters speak military very well?
Does Toastmasters speak military very well?
Or does military speak Toastmasters really well? Because we're trying to sell something we believe strongly in leadership, communication, whether we talk too much or not enough, and the different background skills that it provides for us. Well, how do we sell that to our military counterparts, even though we're one of them?
I think that Toastmasters does speak very clearly to the military. We just have to listen, and we have to bring in that opportunity to the soldiers, the airmen, the sailors, and the Coast Guard. And what we did was we found a baseline, and we just opened it up to civilians, to contractors, to volunteers, to soldiers, and whoever came, we are open for you to come. But we do let young soldiers know. So I'll go and speak to soldiers on different occasions, or to airmen at Pope Air Force Base, and let them know this is going to help you down the road with your leadership skills. Because, in the military, they want you to grow as a leader.
Of course.
So this helps with those leadership skills and also communicating effectively. So we're able to connect that with the Army, with your leadership skills.
That's a good point. I remember I was a young squadron section commander many years ago, and I used to, at the commander's calls, I'd have to read the citations, the awards people would get, the decorations, and be like, Master
Yeah.
Sergeant Jones distinguished herself by meritorious service, blah, 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 blah. So I would speak in front of 300 or 400 people off a script. I couldn't speak for myself. If I didn't have that script, I wouldn't know what to say, what to do. My face would be red. I would be shaking. And I would have walked off the stage back then. But today I find myself not only looking for opportunities to speak, but being asked to
Exactly.
speak, where I could
Yes.
have never done that in my job at the point in time. I never had that confidence. Sure, around the coworkers, and we all knew what to do to get promoted for the
Hmm.
most part.
Hmm.
Stay in shape and jump out of airplanes, obviously.
Yes. Yes.
That's one way to get promoted.
Yes.
But okay, we started these clubs. They're great, and we believe strongly in our product. So how's that going to help someone maybe outside the military once they develop certain skills?
Well, exactly. So we're grooming the young service members to help them in their career.
Sure.
But we also help them with their transition. So I actually got to speak to a group of maybe 200 individuals at Fort Bragg
Yes.
and Pope Air Force Base of individuals that were getting ready to transition out the military. And I was able to sell Toastmasters to them as your next building block for your next chapter in life. Let us help you build on the skills that you have from the military, but
Yeah.
take those into the civilian sector, into the federal government, into contracting, whatever it is you choose. Toastmasters can help you on that next journey.
Next
Let us
journey.
help you build on that next journey.
That's a really good point you brought up there. I know I did not really have good interviewing skills, for instance. I
Mm-hmm.
know that's one of the things we were able to teach people through this organization, as well as leadership and talking in public. Something that kept me involved is something called table topics. Tell our audience a little bit about table
Sure, sure.
topics.
I'd love to tell you about table topics. When you come to a Toastmasters meeting, which is usually about an hour long and it follows a strict agenda, we have an area called impromptu speaking where you're speaking off the cuff. And it's all about having fun and just going up there. And like I tell people, just go up there and just speak for 1 to 2 minutes. It may seem like a very long time, but just know you're coming to a supportive environment where people are having fun, and
Yeah.
sometimes you'll have a topic and you have no clue. What are they going to talk about? Well, talk about your trip to Chicago. Talk about your favorite hamburger. Talk about your mom, your dad, your dog, your cat, what have you. But it's all about having fun. So, table topics, you'll have a table topics master. He or she will come forward with some random topic and maybe even have a theme.
Maybe.
And then we'll hopefully ask you prior to the meeting, would you mind coming forward for a table topic? It'll be fun. I'll make it fun. You'll be fine. And most times they come forward and love the experience, and then they come back and they join Toastmasters.
That's a real good point. And even I was a little fearful the first time I was caught off guard, talking something I did not know anything about. I love it today. You can rarely stump me. I'm going to come up with something. And even if we're asked a question, we could even answer a different question that wasn't even given to us.
Oh, yeah,
The whole idea is to just get us to practice
exactly.
in a supportive environment where we
Mm-hmm.
can fail, we can fall, but there's someone there to pick us up,
Yes.
mentor, coach, lead us
Yes.
along our journey of life,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that may be.
Yes.
So, okay, you started Toastmasters after your military career. I started Toastmasters after my military career. We're encouraging younger people to join while they're in the military
Yes.
so they have the skills where you can even put in your resume. We have different levels in
Yes.
Toastmasters,
Yes.
but just the different things we can learn. For instance, I'm in a path called persuasive influence.
Mm-hmm.
So I could say I'm a persuasive influence communicator and add that to my resume.
Exactly.
And that's huge because
Yes.
employers or other people, even peers, are looking for someone that could lead,
Mm-hmm.
someone that can communicate, someone that's clear and succinct in their communication. And part of what we have is we have immediate evaluations
Yes.
after we speak. Tell us a little bit
Yes.
about what that means.
Yeah, sure. Immediate evaluations, what that means is when you give a speech which has different objectives for your speeches, you will have a speech evaluator who will be looking at those objectives and be watching and listening throughout your speech based on those objectives. Also, the speaker can say, hey, Ramona, I would like for you to look for my eye contact, my hand and arm movement, my body language, things of that nature. So the speech evaluator is going through those objectives while you're giving the speech.
Mhm.
Once you are done with the speech, we then go into table topics, which gives a speech evaluator more time to write down more notes, be more thorough, and then the general evaluator would come forward and say, okay, we need a speech evaluator to come forward. He or she will come forward and hopefully use the sandwich approach, tell you what you did good,
Right.
how you can improve in a positive nature, of course, and then end with on a positive note. I'd love to hear more about it. Keep working on these skills. We're here for you. How can I help you on your next speech?
That's a
That
good.
is that is what speech evaluation is about.
That's right. Suggestions for improvement.
Yes.
Just different ways because we join. Hopefully, whatever organization that we involve with, we want to learn from it. We want to grow. We want to develop friendships. We want to get something out of it. Whether it's like an American Legion outside the military or Toastmasters Club, where we're continuously working on self-development, improvement, confidence.
Yeah.
That a lot of us, even after a 20, 21-year career, we don't have that sufficiently enough for another journey outside the military.
Agree.
So I think it was good, and I appreciate your service. I appreciate what you're doing for Toastmasters now and what you're doing for the young soldiers and airmen and sailors and Marines
Yes.
coming
Thank
back
you.
through because we're all in this together and there's life after the military.
Yes, yes.
And I believe you and I and a lot of the people we hang out with will always continue to serve
Yes.
in one capacity or another.
Yes.
So I just want to thank you so much for talking to my audience.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
Continuously serving. I
Yes.
appreciate
Thank you so much. Thanks for having
Thank you
me.
very much.
Thank you.
This is Ramona, everyone.
Bye.
Look for her if you're in North Carolina. Have a great day. Bye.